Hey Ryan, just want to let you know, I know this works when you do it. Like when you leak the Deadpool test footage, the movie gets greenlit. But when I do it, they almost always release some news that contradicts what I am saying immediately. So, just warning you. Hey, Kevin Feige. Now that 2022 is over, I wanted to check back with you on that pitch that you asked me about. You wrote, Dear Nando, Ryan Reynolds went rogue and announced that Hugh Jackman is playing Wolverine in Deadpool 3. Please pitch me a Deadpool 3, signed K Feige. So yeah, I'm super excited about this. As you know, I am a humongous X-Men fan. I love those movies with all my heart. So think of what I've got here for you as not only a Deadpool sequel, but one last tribute to the Fox X-Men movies before Kang disintegrates them or whatever. My plan for the pitch is simple. It is a sequel to Deadpool 2. It features Hugh Jackman Wolverine in a major role, and it clears the way for Deadpool to cross over into the MCU. I'm going to run through a rough summary of my movie and explain some of my choices along the way. You ready? Let's make the chimichangas. Okay, so we're back with Deadpool. A couple of years have passed. Wade and Vanessa have a daughter named Cher. Why is Vanessa alive? Because the post-credit scene counts. This is not the Fox universe where they tease a bunch of movies that'll never get made, or when they do, will be nothing like that. This is the MCU. Sometimes the post-credit scene is the most important part of the movie. We can start with an action scene. Wade is still working with X-Force. They are now the Black Ops wing of the X-Men that handles jobs the X-Men cannot deal with publicly, like in the Craig Kyle Christopher Yost version that was perfected by Rick Remender in the Uncanny X-Force comics. Great read, highly recommend. And that was my Nando comic recommendation of the video. A new thing I'm going to try to remember to do, but probably forget every so often. The X-Force consists of Deadpool, Cable, Domino, Colossus, Negasonic, and Yukio. We can see that Fire Fists or Hot Hands or whatever we're calling Russell is not part of these missions because he is deemed too young, and any more members would make the team unwieldy. Depinder is piloting the plane the team is flying to this mission. It's his job now. Blind Al is there for moral support. So they go fight the Nasty Boys, led by Mr. Sinister. Big fun opening action set piece, and Deadpool opens the door to get Sinister, but right before he does, he sees a bright light and Sinister is gone. But Sinister can't teleport. None of the Nasty Boys know what happened. X-Force saves some mutants the Nasty Boys have trapped, and then everybody goes home a little confused. Wade goes home to Vanessa and Cher. He tells Vanessa about the mission. She could tell something's wrong, and he tells her that he's just worried. He's a bad guy. He kills goons, says bad language words. He needs to start setting a better example for Cher, otherwise she's gonna turn out all messed up like him. Vanessa assures Wade that his Deadpooliness is what made her fall in love with him, and no matter what kind of guy people think he is, he's going to be a good dad. Vanessa says also Wade got a letter. The letter reads, Dear Mr. Wilson, you have cordially been invited to join the most exclusive club in all of the multiverse. Please reply to this email if you want to attend. Signed, MD. Deadpool says, MD? Oh my god, is this Matt Damon again? I told him I'm crazy, but I'm not crypto crazy. Deadpool crumples up the note, throws it in the trash. Vanessa turns on the news. Thanks, Phil. In other news, police are still baffled by the recent string of mysterious disappearances. Onlookers say during a fight with the Sentinels, X-Men Magic, Quicksilver, and Nightcrawler vanished without a trace. When reached for comment, the X-Men leader Cyclops had this to say. We're doing everything we can to find these X-Men, but for now we do not have any new information, thank you. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, commented, We think this disappearance has something to do with an incursion, a multiversal anomaly where two universes collide and one or both are destroyed. We are urging people not to panic. We have the planet's top minds working on a solution. And here we can have Kelsey Grammer Beast, Eric Bana Hulk, whoever we can get. Deadpool looks out the window and sees chaos. Horns are honking, windows are breaking, fires are starting, mobs are forming. Says, this seems bad. Like Van Wilder, too bad. Wade? Another letter slides under the door. Wade opens the door, but no one's there. He opens the letter, same as before. Wade crumples it up, throws it into the trash, and gets a call from Cable. Cable, is everything okay? It's a disaster here. X-Men are disappearing, people are rioting. The president called us in to keep the peace. I'll be right there. No, stay with your family. We can sort this out. Plus, we don't know how much longer we've got left. Keep me posted and be careful. Another letter flies in, this one through the window. Deadpool crumples it up. Then another, and another. Screams, I swear to God, Joe, I'm not going to your weird little turf school. More and more and more come through until they stop and there is a knock on the door. Wade tells Vanessa to take Cher into the bedroom. He grabs his sword and pistol and opens the door to find a well-dressed man. The Deadpool, Wade Wilson. Wow. Finally, someone gets it. And you are? My name is Major Domo, and I'm the right hand of his spinelessness, Mojo. You've seen our letters? No, must have gotten mixed up. What address do you have for me? This one. Right. Well, anyway, what did I miss? As long as it's not another MLM, I am all ears. As I'm sure you heard, this universe is in the middle of an event. Yes, this is that thing they were talking about on the news, an incursion. But we like to refer to it as the merger. And my master, Mojo, has been given the honor of executing this merger, deciding what stays here and what goes to the new universe. And because of your immense popularity, you are one of the very few that have been selected for the merger. Does it come with a check? I mean, we can make one if that's what it'll take, but I do get to choose. Normally you would not, but Mr. Wilson, because you are self-aware, we need your permission to transfer you to the new universe. And can my family come? Well, in this circumstance, it has been deemed by Mojo that you must come alone. Your attachment to them is unpopular. What? Superhero gets a kid is a great plot point. Mr. Wilson, superheroes cannot have kids, and they could never have a living wife, but you managed to find a loophole, the post-credit scene. Mr. Wilson, superheroes need to suffer. That's the only way they can grow. So this losing your family will help you develop as a character. Okay, Dan Harmon, well, permission denied. I'm afraid we must insist. Mojo needs you for this merger to be complete. Well, I don't know what to tell you, Major. Answer's no. I was afraid you would say that. Spiral? So in Dance's Spiral, the six-armed, samurai hat-wearing, fur-booted, multi-dimensional assassin. She and Wade fight. And a fight with Spiral should be absolutely nuts. She's got 2 swords, 6 arms, she can teleport. I've been dying to see her in live action, so here we go. Wade holds his own, and Spiral is forced to teleport away. Wade goes into the bedroom to check on Vanessa and Cher. Looks like Hot Goro is gone. I mean, she's not hotter than you, it's just... Deadpool sees Vanessa crying. He took Cher. Deadpool confronts Vanessa and finds, in Cher's crib, another envelope. He opens it, finds a note that reads, "If you want to see your daughter again, come to Mojo World and accept my terms. You can even bring a +1, Mojo." And Domo left them with 2 wristbands that they can use to travel to Mojo World. I'm gonna kill him and bring her back. Let's go. Wait, if you want to make sure you don't lose, you should think about bringing someone else. You're right. Mojo didn't say who my +1 needs to be. Exactly. He'll be expecting us. But if you show up with someone as dangerous as you, maybe you can surprise him. Deadpool sees on the pass that he has 24 hours to make his decision. And that's your call to adventure. Deadpool needs to go to Mojo World to rescue his daughter. Everyone meets in the X-Mansion. Wade tells them his problem. Cable says he's heard of Mojo before. Mojo is the ruler of the Mojoverse, an entire universe that Mojo runs like a TV network. He's powered by attention. The more people are watching his shows, the stronger he gets. So Deadpool needs a partner who is tough, deadly, and also popular. Now we can do one of 3 things here. The first, and the one that I think plays the best, is the time traveling and getting one of those Wolverines. Cable says, "I'll go with you." "You can't go. What if Thanos is there?" "For the last time, I don't know who that is. Plus, you need to protect this universe. Without you, all they have is the rest of the X-Men, the New Mutants, Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, Hulk, one of the Spider-Men, I think Blade. Is Blade in these? No, I need someone else. Someone who is the best at what he does, but what he does best isn't very nice." Sounds pretty specific, Wade. Do you have someone in mind? I do. He's got 6 claws, 2 mutton chops, and one of those cover a Men's Health 6-packs. I need Wolverine. Impossible. No one knows where Logan is. He's been missing for years. Probably backpacking through Canada again, that lucky dog. Although, we can time travel now. You say he dies in the future, right? Why don't we go and save him from the future before he dies? No, he's too weak. Plus, you saw James Mangold's tweets. I'm not messing with that. What about the past? There might be one there. No, if Deadpool takes a Wolverine from the past and he gets captured, it'll destroy the future. Cher might never be born. No future, no past. We need something else. Wait, say that again. No future, no past. Not that, the other thing. We need something else. Something else like another timeline. What? Okay, so you guys know how I can break the fourth wall. Yes. So, one of the movies we're all in, well, you're not. Actually, you are, but you look different. Anyway, it's called Days of Future Past. In that timeline, everything went bad because Mystique shot the guy from Game of Thrones. I don't know, it's been a while since I saw it. Not that it's bad, I'm just so busy. Wade, focus. Right. So the X-Men from a messed up future sent Wolverine back in time to the 70s. And for a brief time, Wolverine was in both timelines. But there are a few minutes during the end where past Wolverine is drowning in a river, so they win whether future Wolverine is there or not. What if we go to the future and steal him during those few minutes? Then it won't break the timeline. A TVA door opens and Mobius steps out. He stands for a second and thinks, then says, you know what? I don't think you're breaking any rules. Knock yourself out. Thanks, Hansel. And then Mobius walks back through the portal and disappears. Who is that? It's not important. What is important is we have a mission, a destination, and a big second act set piece. We can't lose. So I like this for a bunch of reasons, one of which is this Deadpool is actively using his self-awareness to solve the problem. I just think that's a fun idea. Plus, this Logan happens to be the oldest looking Wolverine, besides the one from Logan, so that makes things a bit easier for Jackman. So X-Force needs to go to that timeline with Cable's time machine, which Yukio fixed, fight some Sentinels, and save that Wolverine. That's your first half of the second act, planning and executing the Wolverine heist. While they go, Deadpool leaves the Mojoverse wristbands with Yukio to see if she can learn anything about them while X-Force is gone. So that's option 1. Option 2 is fun, but for reasons that will make sense later, is not quite as emotionally interesting. But this is another way to do it. Same problem, Wolverine's gone, they can't go to the past, and in this situation they can't go to the future either. But Deadpool has an idea. Mojoverse is one big show, right? What if they don't need a Wolverine? They just need someone who looks like him. And you know who looks a lot like Wolverine? Hugh Jackman, the actor from Kate and Leopold and Les Mis and Greatest Showman and nothing else. He could pass for Wolverine. So they go to Australia and kidnap him. There's also a third option. Same Wolverine problem, we can't get him, except Cable knows something he never told Wade. Vanessa is a mutate like him. And Vanessa is a metamorph, meaning she can change her shape, and even more than that, change her genetic structure. So she will be able to become a perfect duplicate of Wolverine. Now, sometimes this power only works if she is near the person she is copying, but for the purposes of this, she's just kind of like Mystique. That's not super important for right now, but hold on to that information. So they need to go to the lab where they originally did the experiments on Wade and recreate the experiment on Vanessa. Reason I don't love those last two is our Wolverine would not be the one who has history with Wade and the X-Men, so we'd lose all of those interactions. And that's what we really need for this to work. Logan and Wade are very different, and that's what makes this fun. So options 2 and 3 don't really work for me. And trust me, the further into the pitch we get, the less they would work. But the first option is actually working with Wolverine, one who knows him, because this one went through Weapon X with Wade, and they haven't met again since. So the relationship that builds over the course of this movie is a genuine Wolverine and Deadpool friendship, which seems to be what the movie's being sold as. So this is our second big action set piece. First half of Act 2, fighting the Sentinels and saving Wolverine from the Days of Future Past timeline. It would be fun to see how a Sentinel deals with mutants like Cable and Domino. But they managed to snag Wolverine in the nick of time and bring him back to their timeline and explain the plan. But this is our first problem. This Wolverine is done. Tired. He is too old for this. And after that last mission, he doesn't think he's got any more in him. But Deadpool sells Wolverine on the importance of this mission, of family. Didn't you ever have a family, Logan? Wolverine doesn't want to talk about it, so he just agrees, but there's clearly something there. So Deadpool and Wolverine get ready for the trip. They come up with a plan. Deadpool gets a fresh suit. Wolverine is ready to go in his Days of Future Past outfit, and Deadpool stops him. Absolutely not. We've got one more of these and you're wearing another muted black onesie. Where's that briefcase from the deleted scene in Japan? Oh, that one? It's actually at the Institute somewhere. So they find it, and finally Logan gets to wear the yellow and black costume with the mask. Deadpool says, "You're welcome, nerds." Everyone wishes them luck, and they put on the wristbands and travel to Mojo World. Mojo World has a pretty distinct aesthetic in the comics. Metal, cyberpunk. But also, everyone except Mojo is a slave, so the vibe is very bad. They go to Mojo's castle and execute the plan, a super violent smash and grab, lots of R-rated stabbing, and right as they're about to get Cher, Wolverine smells something and stabs into thin air. But he hits something. It's invisible, but when it gets skewered, its cloaking malfunctions and we see what it is, a floating camera. Deadpool swings his katanas around and hits a few others. They've been watching this whole time, it's a trap. And for the first time, Mojo shows up on a TV screen and applauds their effort. says that whole scene is gonna look great in the trailer. And then he reveals that Cher is not here, and they're actually on a set in Mojo's prison. But that's not all. They've got company. Wolverine sniffs the air. No, it can't be. And out comes Spiral again with another one of Mojo's enforcers, Laura, Logan's clone, but grown up. Still played by Daphne Keane, obviously, and she's 18 now, which is right around the age of Laura in the comics. She's under some sort of mind control. Wolverine is gutted. He can't fight Laura, but she has to fight him. So Deadpool tries to knock out Laura, but Wolverine won't let him. This fight is a mess. Wolverine and Deadpool lose big, and they get knocked out and put in a jail cell. And that is your midpoint. Okay, want to answer a couple questions here. First one. Why Mojo? Well, Deadpool has fought two main antagonists in his previous movies, Ajax and Cable. They're both tough, strong, a physical match for Deadpool, but what if, for his third movie, we get a villain who's on Deadpool's level in the other way? He understands the jokes, has that same awareness, and is going to exploit Deadpool for his own popularity. Plus, Mojo does exist in his own area described by Marvel as an extra-dimensional and extra-temporal realm. So Mojo can act as a bridge between the Fox X-Men movies and Marvel. And I just love the idea of the evil TV producer being in charge of the X-Men universe because their continuity has always been such a mess. Why did Trask go from black to white? Mojo recast him. Why does the Cyclops timeline make no sense? Mojo recast him. He's been fiddling with everything behind the scenes, and the only two characters he seems to really like are Wolverine and Deadpool. Second question, what's going on with Laura? So when the guys wake up in their jail cell, they will find Laura in a cell nearby, and she will explain that she's the Laura from Logan, who is taken by Mojo and forced to fight in Mojo World because Mojo loves Wolverine. She grew up in Mojo World, so we can do the whole her childhood was taken from her thing from the comics. We will also learn later from Logan that he had a Laura in his timeline who he was trying to find, but by the time he found her, she was killed by Sentinels. Days of Future Past Logan always felt a strong sense of regret for not being there for Laura all those years, and that's why he agreed to help Wade. Logan does not want Wade to make the same mistake he did, and that's his arc for the movie. Logan gets to meet Laura and forgive himself when she tells him that her Logan died protecting her and he's a good dad. And then we get a bunch of Mojo worlding. Logan and Wade are fitted with little mind control chips that Mojo can use to force them to fight for the amusement of Mojo World. And these fights are broadcasted, and these broadcasts give Mojo ratings that make him stronger. Logan gets the first fight. It's a fight to the death against a citizen of Mojo World. Logan obviously doesn't want to, but he has no choice. Everyone's really dreading watching Logan kill a poor innocent person until it's revealed that Logan is going to fight a clone of Shatterstar. Then Deadpool is okay with that. Logan's still upset, but he ends up killing Shatterstar. I'd like to make it a running gag that Shatterstar dies in every Deadpool movie. I have nothing against Shatterstar. I loved him in X Factor Investigations, but I just love gags like that. And after this fight, Deadpool and Logan are both brought to Mojo. First big villain meeting. And Mojo explains the situation and gives both men a choice. You see, Mojo knew Deadpool would pick Logan. He implanted that knowledge into Cable's system, and Mojo knows there's nothing his fans want more than a movie starring original Wolverine and Deadpool ending in a big tragic fight. And when they do, the ratings will be through the roof and it'll give Mojo enough power to take over the multiverse. But he will be generous. Wolverine and Deadpool are going to fight to the death. Whoever wins, their daughter gets sent home to their original world. The loser's daughter will stay on Mojo World as Mojo's slave, and the winner immediately goes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Wade says they can't kill each other. They're both practically immortal. And Mojo says, cut off his head. See if that works. It's a callback. Mojo knows what a callback is because he's seen the movies. Also, I say this in my Nebula exclusive casting video, which you should definitely watch because it is fun. I cast all the Mojoverse characters. My ideal Mojo, and I know what you're gonna say, but stick with it, is Mike Myers. He could play it under makeup if he wanted to, but he could also just CG it. I'm fine with that because Mojo's supposed to look kind of disgusting, and as much as I think you could do that with practical effects, I also think you could get a lot of that done in the computer. But I do think Mike Myers has this wonderful ability to play very extreme characters that are all over the map, from Cat in the Hat levels annoying to Goldmember level sleazy. I mean, Shrek was just a big monster guy. What I'm saying is if we want to create a larger-than-life character, specifically with a larger-than-life voice, I don't think there's much better we can do right now than Mike Myers, who just kind of got back into the business in a big way with Amsterdam and The Pentaveret. This would be a perfect big comeback movie for him. So this is Deadpool's low point. He needs to fight the unkillable soldier for his daughter's freedom, a fight he will certainly lose, and even if he wins, Deadpool sentences Laura to a life of Mojo world slavery. He just can't do that. He's an anti-hero, but he's not a bad guy. But it's a no-win situation. Even if Deadpool refuses, Mojo could take control of him with the obedience chip. And this fight is the end of Act 2. And you may be thinking, wait a second, this is the end of Act 2? What about the second half of Act 2? That's a lot of talking and stuff, and there would be a couple more undercard fights if you want to set up some other characters, but most of this is about Wolverine and Deadpool talking about their daughters and their issues, Wolverine reconciling with Laura, all that stuff. But the fight at the end of Act 2 is Deadpool versus Wolverine. Mojo can also turn the arena into whatever he wants, so he chooses a setting that would be familiar to them, the end of X-Men Origins Wolverine. But Mojo flips the fight. Now Wolverine is mind-controlled and chasing after Deadpool. So we get a bunch of straight-up horror movie Deadpool being stalked by Wolverine moments. Kind of like that one Wolverine scene in X-Men Apocalypse. And eventually they do fight, but Deadpool refuses. He cannot kill Wolverine, he just won't do it. So Mojo takes control. And then we get an insane fight between the two of them. And we go into Deadpool's head and see he is stuck in his own brain. Like sitting in a chair, watching through his eyes, still conscious during the fight, but cannot do anything about it. And the crowd is chanting Deadpool's name. He is going to win. And Deadpool laments that this is all his fault. Guys like Deadpool can't have kids, they can't be dads, they don't get happy endings. Everything he cares about is about to die, and Cher is going to be Mojo's slave, and it is all Deadpool's fault. He ruined everything. But then, Wade remembers what Vanessa told him. Being himself got him this far. It's what saved Vanessa and brought Cher into the world, and what's going to keep them safe. And that's who Deadpool is. It's not just that he's an anti-hero, he's a different kind of hero. He solves problems differently. Yes, sometimes that means he curses and kills people, but sometimes that means he repairs the time travel device and saves everybody from the other movies they don't know they're in. That's something only Deadpool can do. It makes him special. And Deadpool gets an idea. And Deadpool goes into his brain, which, like that episode of SpongeBob, is just a room with levers and stuff like that. And he starts messing around with everything. And we see underneath the mask, Deadpool's mouth starts moving. Still closed, but sort of writhing around, struggling. And eventually, it opens. And Deadpool screams something. He says, "Deadpool is overrated." A shocked Mojo says, "What?" And Deadpool says, "It just felt like, we get it, Ryan Reynolds. You saw Liar 20 years ago and thought you could do it, but way less funny. Saying you have lazy writing does not make up for the fact that your writing is lazy. And those fights, wow, the bare minimum is apparently enough to make people lose their minds. What a bunch of idiots." Mojo says, "How is he talking? How are you talking? I guess you aren't really a fan. There's only one way to shut me up. You gotta glue my mouth closed. Otherwise, I find a way. Just like the writers find a way to make the most obvious jokes. How many times can I describe something as being like my balls? What is he doing?" But the real problem is the fans. They think they're so edgy and cool, but they're just a bunch of man-children with a basement full of Rick and Morty Funko Pops who think a couple of F-bombs makes a movie adult. Grow up. Domo says, boss?" And he shows Mojo that the ratings are going down. People are turning off the fight. Mojo says, "Crank up that obedience chip before he gets us canceled." Domo says, "The chip can't take it." Deadpool says, "But you know who's the worst part of these movies? Stan Lee." Mojo says, "Just do it." And the obedience chip overheats and explodes. There's an explosion under Deadpool's mask, and his head is cut clean off its body. It flies over to Logan. It killed him? No! Turn Logan's off now. Logan regains his consciousness, picks up Wade's head. "I'm so sorry, Wade. I couldn't help it. I'm so sorry." Domo asks, "Wait, why isn't Logan going to the MCU? He won." Mojo's eyes widen. Deadpool wakes up. Clearly, this guy didn't see both Wolverine Origins post-credit scenes. That's right, they did 2 different post-credit scenes for some reason. If Mojo was a true fan, he'd know that cutting my head off doesn't kill me, and my body stays alive too. So I can do this. Deadpool's headless body picks up a blade and cuts the chip out of Logan's neck. Logan bleeds a little bit but comes to. Wade's body puts his head back where it belongs and helps Logan up. He says, "Go get Laura, I can take him." Mojo is furious. He presses some buttons on his chair and portals open up. Mojo says, "Trask had the right idea," and Sentinels flood the stadium. "You want something done right? Get a robot." Spiral and Domo in battle armor jump onto the battlefield. Mojo hangs back in the control booth. Deadpool is now standing against a humongous army. He is absolutely going to die. He stands up, picks up his katanas, tightens one of his gloves, and then he hears, Wade, can you hear me?" Then a portal behind Wade opens. X-Force walks out. Cable, Domino, Colossus, Negasonic, and Yukio. Wade says, "How?" Yukio explains that while they were gone, she studied the past and reverse engineered it. He's glad they came, but even they can't win this fight. There are too many Sentinels, even for the 6 of them. And Colossus says, what was that thing you said? Oh yes, threw us a bone. And then a bunch of portals open up. That's right, we're doing Endgame. Like I said, this is not just the farewell to Hugh Jackman Wolverine, it is the proper send-off these movies always deserved but never got. And obviously Deadpool will point out the similarities between this and Endgame. But still, it's fun. These are movies that are supposed to be fun. And also, all of these characters coming together to back up Wolverine and Deadpool, it means something. Sure, Wolverine and Deadpool were the 2 most popular individual characters in the entire X-Men universe, but the X-Men has always been about being a team. So this, the last X-Men movie in the Fox universe, before they probably go there for Secret Wars or something, is a tribute to those teams. The New Mutants come through, the other X-Force members, even the dead ones, some of the new generation of X-Men, definitely Jubilee and Quicksilver, First Class Havoc, Banshee, Angel, and Darwin, Stephen Merchant Caliban, Olivia Munn Psylocke, Blink, Warpath, and then all of the originals. Kelsey Grammer, Ashmore, Foster Angel, Elliot Page, a Flying Paquin Rogue, Coming Nightcrawler, Barry Storm, Famke Jean, Marsden Cyclops, and Stuart Xavier. Now I don't know if this is too complicated, but all the X-Men line up and the camera flies past them, kind of like in Endgame, with Deadpool and Wolverine in the middle. And once the camera passes Deadpool, we look at the group again, except all of the people from the original movie swap with their new movie counterparts. So we see both versions represented, and editing throughout the upcoming fight would make it clear that there is one guy there. Just in some shots, he's James Marsden, and in some shots, he's Ty Sheridan. But it's just one Cyclops. Like, yes, this universe is a messy disaster, but you still want to give both actors credit. Vanessa can come in looking like she does in the comics. Wade can say, "Oh, you did the thing from the comics off screen, just like Gwyneth," and then turns to camera and say, "Such a copycat," and then just like winks at us. Russell, Blind Al, and Depinder drive in his taxi. He opens the trunk to reveal the weapons that Deadpool forgot there at the end of Deadpool 1. Cyclops says, "Is that everyone?" And then you gotta do Fassbender room for one more, then McKellen, old friend, with just the Magnetos and the Mystiques coming through the last portal, because they're usually good guys anyway. And last ones, Logan and Laura burst through a window and land with the team. They all line up, close up on Wade, who says, "X-Men assemble," and then he's cut off by Logan. He says, "Huh? That's not, oh, what is it?" Logan whispers something to Deadpool. Deadpool says, "That's dumb, he can say it." And then split screen, half Stewart, half McAvoy, "To me, my X-Men," and then they do a big fight. Listen, is this cheesy? Of course. But I guarantee you, if Avengers Endgame had not come out, and I just described what happens at the end of Endgame, it would sound equally cheesy. All of this stuff happening on screen, it would be cool. And the Fox X-Men movies deserve it. They started this whole thing. Yes, obviously you have Superman and Batman and to a lesser extent Blade, but the Fox X-Men movies were the first big superhero movie hit. They paved the way for all of this. No actor has been playing their character longer and more consistently than Hugh Jackman Wolverine. I'm sure they'll do something kind of like this in Secret Wars, but the X-Men deserve a big moment, and I think this mostly works. This is where you can work in all the cool fighting moves, people teleporting each other that never got to work together before, maybe some of the teams, Colossus working with magic, Psylocke and Angel, Nightcrawler gets a sword, Havoc and Cyclops fight side by side, Nightcrawler and Beast fight side by side, and these guys all just destroy the Sentinels. But the big actual ending to this movie has to be Deadpool vs. Mojo. So, and I think this is crucial, one in each hand, Colossus picks up Wolverine and Deadpool and fastball specials them into Mojo's control room. And we're doing this with the big Colossus who can one-hand each guy because he's just so big. None of that like fastball special toss from X-Men The Last Stand. We're doing the big one. Hugh Jackman deserves to get a proper fastball special. And of course, Deadpool would want one too. Deadpool and Wolverine crash through the window in Mojo's control room. He's standing at the center next to a crib with Cher. Mojo says, "I don't think you want to test me. I don't know if they told you, but my touch can kill anyone. Except you, of course. But I don't think you want to find out whether that's a dominant or recessive trait." Deadpool and Wolverine stop. "What do you want? Isn't it obvious, Vanessa? I want your husband. What do you? Give me a break. I'm pretty good at anticipating twists. You can come out, Wade." Deadpool drops down from a ceiling vent and joins Wolverine and Vanessa, who turns back into her usual Miranda Picarin look. She says, "It was a good plan. I'm gonna need a better one." "So then you understand me, Wade. You go to the new universe. You can even take your family. I wasn't planning to, but hell, you can even take his daughter with you." Wolverine says, "Wade, you weren't planning to. Wade, because you knew I would win. You knew I would kill him because I can't die, but he can. We know. Spoiler alert, you die. And as much as I tried in my movie, outside of some pretty extenuating circumstances, I can't. Because you don't need him. You just need me." Wolverine's confused. "That's not quite it. I did need him for one last fight before he goes away forever too. But yes, Wade, you are going to be the only survivor of this universe. No one else is as popular as you and as irreplaceable. So stop fighting. Save your daughter, your family. It's the best deal you are going to get. Why does our universe have to die? Because your universe has no future. It is a relic, one that no one thinks about. Trust me, I know. And the powers that be understand that maintaining it is costly, not a good investment. So it will end, and either it drags you down with it, or you can escape on this lifeboat I am offering. Either way, it goes. You're risking all of this because of me. Indeed. And they will not stop until they have you. They will destroy everything. Believe it or not, I'm the good cop." Deadpool thinks a little. "Well, okay, I'll do it. On one condition, which is my family comes with me and everyone lives." "Impossible. They won't allow it." "They have to, because if you want me alive, that's the deal." "I don't think you know how empty of a threat that is. Nothing can kill you. Nothing." "Yeah, but I've never been this desperate. And maybe I can't, but I think one of them can." Deadpool motions to the X-Men fighting below. "And if they've gotten the message, they should be appearing right about now." Nothing. Now. Still nothing. Right about... Wait, this is getting embarrassing. "No, for the bit to work, we need at least 3. Then Nightcrawler teleports in holding someone, knocks Deadpool down. Great timing. Say hello to... The smoke clears, revealing this guy. Deadpool is confused. "I'm Darwin." "You didn't know." Figured they'd send someone helpful like the Sun Kid or Portal Girl. I'm sorry, one more time. "Darwin." "Incredible. You were bluffing. There's just so many of them. The girl with the glowy sword, the other girl with the glowy sword, that guy whose dreadlocks are whips. Remember him? That was weird. Looks like a dud. Care to reconsider my offer? Before I kill her?" Trusted you guys. Stupid X-Men. Can't make 3 good movies in a row to literally save your lives. "Hey Wade, you want to know what my power is?" "What is it?" "I adapt to survive." "Oh, first class, right. I thought you were dead." "No, I just teleported away until all this mess sorted itself out. I don't control how my powers work, they just do." Deadpool thinks and gets an idea. "Wait, so what can't you do?" "Nothing." "Let's test that. Mojo, I am not going unless you save our universe. That's final, mine's made up." "Well, that's not possible." "I think it is. Because if you don't, everyone in that universe is going to die, including him. And I'm not changing my mind, and you can't make me. You need to make a deal. So here's the new one. You let me and my family go to this new universe, and you save the old one, or Darwin kills me. That work for you?" "Yeah, I think it does." "You cannot kill him. But if Darwin doesn't kill me, he will die. That is, unless you say yes." Fool, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, it kinda does. Risk everything. Everyone. Not even you are crazy enough to go through with this. Buddy, I'm just the right kind of crazy. You've got till the count of 10. One of Darwin's hands turns into a gun. 10, 9, hold on, 8, wait, 7, if you just 6, you're not doing it. 5, okay, hold on, 4, 3, 2, fine, let me call them. Mojo calls his boss. Yes, I'm sure you heard. I understand. Thank you. You win. Everything you said, your pathetic universe will survive, and your family can go with you, but you need to go. Deal? Deal. The Sentinels shut down, and then Deadpool and everyone drops down to the rest of the X-Men. These are your goodbyes. Everyone is very sad. Deadpool says goodbye to his team, and then Deadpool, Vanessa, and Cher walk through one of the TVA portals into the MCU. So that's the movie. Couple things. One, real quick right off the bat. The Wade canceling himself bit is not dissimilar to something written by another YouTuber not too long ago. If you know what I mean, you know. Either way, it feels like the right last beat for a story about a Deadpool who needs to embrace his Deadpooliness. Second, where did Darwin come from? Well, one of the telepaths was reading Deadpool's mind during the confrontation, and someone like Professor X came up with the idea. Deadpool relying on the X-Men for help and getting a C-lister feels like a good way to end his relationship with that team. Third, why not have Logan or Laura come with them? They could, but I just don't see it. I don't think that's the direction they'll go. Either they're recast or they show up in the MCU but as new versions of those characters. Fourth, what about the characters who were teleported away in the beginning of the pitch? So those are characters I would like to see stick around in the MCU, so that's the MCU's way of copying those actors. I don't really like it as a way to set up that people are disappearing. I also like it as another way to tease Mr. Sinister without actually showing him for the last time in this universe. Fifth, who is in charge? Who is Mojo working for? I don't know. Maybe Kevin the computer, maybe Kang, maybe the Beyonder, maybe the one above all, or maybe just literal Kevin Feige. Like, this is how those characters perceive the Fox-Disney merger. It doesn't really matter since after this we don't need to see them again. They'll probably show up in Secret Wars, but as far as that universe is concerned, it's more or less done. The rest of those characters are going to be rebooted. So yeah, Kevin, that's the pitch. And we can do whatever we want with Deadpool in the future. He can have some memory loss so that he doesn't know everything about the X-Men already. Or maybe he doesn't even know he's not from the MCU. Or he can just remember everything. It is all up to you. Also, I'm sure you saw, Kevin, my action figure shelf behind me has grown significantly in the past few videos. Found a bunch of MCU figures that I absolutely love, and I also managed to pick up the Marvel Legends Deluxe MODOK figure in memory of that Ant-Man 3 pitch that I sent you over. Whatever happened to that? I haven't checked. And I'm sure you know, Kevin, collecting action figures and comics is an expensive hobby, which is why I have been using this video's sponsor, Upside. Upside is basically free money. It offsets inflated prices by giving you cash back on purchases you are already making. It's an incredible app for anybody who buys gas or buys groceries or dines out. So, like, say you need to fill up your car. Just open the app, find a station near you, select it in the app, and Upside does the rest. Or there's restaurants. Great sushi place by me that I go to all the time is on Upside. So I get cash back every time I go, which is like once a week. You can withdraw through PayPal or get a gift card. There are no strings. They don't share your information with anybody. It really is that easy. So give it a look. Check out the app on the App Store and find out which places by you are on Upside right now. Download the free Upside app and use the code Nando to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. Thank you to everybody who continues to support the channel on Patreon. Thank you to everybody who listens to my podcast, Mostly Nitpicking. Everybody who watches these videos on Nebula, and everybody who follows me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, all that stuff. I'm Nando V Movies on all of those platforms. That's it. Stay safe. See you next time.